Amazing. Baba, thank you for joining me. Welcome to the Angle podcast. How are you doing today?
Thanks for having me. I'm doing pretty good, you know?
For people listening, this man is the Book Baba.
The
He he is a book talk bro, influencer, reader extraordinaire that I met on TikTok.
Am I an influencer? I don't think I'm an influencer.
I
I
think we could call you a creator, but I think at this point you could be an influencer too. I think I've seen you influence enough people to not shit talk other people and the book talk community.
Um, okay. Well, I'll take that.
But
I'll take
that's a great place to start. How has book talk been for you? How has that
um,
whole experience been?
Man, it's been really interesting. I feel like actually like lately I feel like it's kind of like slowed down. Um, it was like growing, 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 but I also haven't been as consistent. So maybe that's it. But overall, I think it's been really interesting. It's been really a cool space. I found the space because I was really just looking for book recommendations, and then I realized that there were guys out there talking about books, and I said, "Oh, that's great," because I have a few friends that read, but I don't have friends that I can be like, "Oh, dude, have you read this latest book?" And they're like, "Yeah, it's awesome." Most people are just like, "Shut up." So so um no, I appreciated that. And yeah, it's been great like connecting with like-minded people and cool people that, if I had never found Book Talk, if I'd never created an account, we wouldn't be talking.
That's
Like
fair.
where
Yeah.
where in life would we have crossed paths?
I
Um,
don't think ever, because
yeah, yeah,
I would never be in your part of the nation.
yeah, exactly. Like even just like for example, like Luke Bateman, who's a big creator, right? He lives in Australia. He's like in the outback, and I consider him a friend. We
Mhm.
connected over books, and I never would have what like what
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's yeah, I mean I'm saying all that to just say that it's been good, it's been interesting. It has its ups and downs like anything, kind of realizing that no matter what community you find yourself in, humanity is still there in all the
Fair.
best and the worst ways.
Fair. Yeah. It's definitely a bit ruthless sometimes online. Um, before I have two things I wanted to ask based on what you just said.
Mhm.
The first thing is that I find a very common through line of everybody who says they started talking about books online because they didn't have anybody in their immediate, like, vicinity and their current circle of friends or like, people to talk about books with. Um, I find that very interesting because I feel like around the time that, like, I got into book talk, like, the 2020s, like, this early 2020s, reading wasn't, like, the thing that it is now because people were still in their, like, tech and clubbing and other things, even though it was COVID time, people were still doing other things, and now reading's like the thing. Like, I have friends who are like, "Oh, I need to read a book this year." I'm like, "Bro, it's November. I need to read a book this year." And they're like, they actually want to read now. Whereas for me, I was the same with you. I started a BookTube account because I was like, nobody really reads around me. Now, did anything happen through BookTube? No, I had to get to Book Talk actually to talk to people about books. Fun fact. Book Talk's probably the best place to start, I think, in general at this point. I'm not sure your experience with it, but like Book Talk's probably the best place if you're just trying to talk about books with people who will actually respond back to you and engage with you about books. That's probably the place to start
Yeah, I
before
mean
you branch out into like becoming a creator.
I don't have any experience with BookTube. I have no experience with like Bookstagram, right? I know there's people on Book Talk that have both. I only have Book Talk. Uh, yeah, I mean that's what I found interesting was kind of like the level of response too. Very friendly people, I
Mhm,
feel like. And in a lot of spaces, you don't necessarily get that same level of immediate engagement.
mhm,
Um, but yeah, I mean, I guess I don't know if maybe it feels like reading is a thing, but I also feel like reading has always been a thing, but everybody who kind of reads is kind of like hiding, you know? I mean,
Yeah.
bookstores exist. Before Book Talk, for years I would go to the local Barnes and Noble and just browse the shelves. Like
Mhm.
that's how I found like Red Rising, right? It was like I read
Right.
it way before Book Talk, but it was in the bookstore.
Mhm.
Um there was always people in the bookstore, and there's a
Mhm.
big bookstore, so somebody's doing something. So yeah, I mean, it's interesting. Yeah, I don't know if that's I I I I do feel like on one level there is truth to the fact that reading has kind of become this thing. Um, but at the same time, I feel like it's just always been a thing, but it's something that maybe people don't really even talk about. Like
Mhm.
I feel like there's people that read and they don't tell people that they're readers. You know, they're
Yeah.
almost
Like, it's not the easiest thing to talk about with people because I feel like it's easier to go into, like, your office watering hole at lunch and talk about traffic, the weather, what you did on the weekend, the local sports team, your fantasy league or whatever it is, but, like, not many people are like, "Yeah, I'm reading this sci-fi fantasy book that's really cool."
yeah.
Nobody else in your workplace is gonna be reading that, but most likely.
I guess the closest you get to that is talking about maybe TV and movies,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
I guess. Um, Actually, something interesting that you just said that kind of like sparked something in my brain is this idea of like it's easier to talk about, you know, your fantasy league, which is kind of funny to me that that's more quote unquote acceptable to be like I have a fantasy league of imaginary players and
That I
I mean
gamble
yeah
money
and like
with.
yeah and like me and my friends get together and do this, but if you want to talk about a book that has to do with dragons, people might be like,
Mhm.
oh, you nerd.
Exactly. Or, like, futuristic blasters and spaceships and things like that and spacesuits. But I recall still to those till this day, I'm very salty with the city of Paris, Texas. They removed their local Hastings.
Wait,
What is
wait,
Hastings?
say that again. From you're salty about what?
I'm salty with the state of Paris, the city of Paris, Texas.
Oh, the city of Pierce, Texas. Okay, got it.
Yeah, because they removed their local Hastings. And what is Hastings? It is Hastings is a media store. They sold games,
Mm,
movies, and books.
okay.
And every time my mother would go to our local strip mall square to go shop, I would say, "I'm going to Hastings. I'm gonna go browse books." That's actually where I found The Demon King, which is somewhere over there or over there somewhere. One of my favorite books of all time. And that is also where bought book 2 and book 3 and book 4. And, like, that was, like, my place to go to in our small town because it was either Walmart or Hastings is really all wherever you went. Um, so once they got rid of that, I was like, I have no way to read now besides the public library, which is, like, downtown. But, like, I have no other place to go to, like, look at books.
Mm.
And I was a voracious reader. I don't know about you, but as a youth, as a young one, I was a voracious reader. Captain Underpants, my goat.
Oh yeah, dude.
Um,
Captain Underpants. I know about Captain Underpants. You
you know about Captain Underpants? Oh my
don't
god,
let
I
the
have on the
white
speed dial.
hair fool you, my friend. I know about Captain Underpants.
That was my
I
shit.
think I remember the very first Captain Underpants like book that came out. Got at the book fair, and I was like,
That's where I got mine, the school
yeah, the
Scholastic
Scholastic Book
Fair.
Fair.
That's
I
crazy.
look a little older than I am sometimes, but you know.
Nah, you're not
Um,
that yeah, you're not old at all.
uh, I was a pretty voracious reader as well, but I was fortunate to where there was a library like walking distance from our house. So you know, um, my mom wasn't a reader herself. I mean, also
Mhm.
she's an immigrant. English was her second language, but
Yep.
she, for whatever reason, made it you know, emphasize reading and would always take us to the library, take me to the
Mhm.
library for reading events and uh yeah, so I grew up reading, and then that evolved into like talking about this classic book fair, Animorphs,
Yep.
and Goosebumps, and like Redwall, and all that. So, I mean, I read the first Wheel of Time book.
Jeez.
I think I was in 10th grade when I read it.
Dude, those books were never in any of the libraries I ever went to. I ever had in school. Like they're like my libraries had a lot of things. They were decently up to date. Never had any Sanderson. Never had any Wheel of Time. Never had any. Um, I would say also like read sci-fi fantasy books like Red Rising. Never had any Rockio, any of that stuff. Like back when I was
I'm
reading.
trying. I'm Now that you say that, I'm trying to think about how I even discovered Wheel of Time. I have no. I think it was at the library, but I'm not sure. Or maybe somebody I knew was like, "Read this," but I feel like it had to be the library. I don't think anybody I knew would have been like, "Hey, you should read this.
Mm-hmm.
It's a crazy fantasy series." Um, but yeah, I mean, like Animorphs was my jam.
Yeah, that was me with the Warrior series, the book about
Oh,
cats.
the cats. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
That that was my shit.
Did you ever read
So much. Read what?
Redwall?
Yes, 100%. We talked about this before. I actually read all of them that my library had. I don't even know if I don't think it's all the books,
Yeah,
but I think at least the 10 plus books that my library had, I went through all of them. And I have the first one up there now because I found it at a bookstore and I bought it. Um,
that's right.
I was actually going to lead that into part of me next year for 2026 just wants to make my like reading theme of like just catching up on the greats as opposed to new things that are coming out. Even though like the new things that are coming out are exciting, like I want to go back and actually read Lord of the Rings. I actually want to go through all the Red Walls. I want to go back and read actually all the Septimus Heap books, like the Magic Flight, all that stuff. Um, I do want to actually get through more Red Rising, finish Dungeon Crawler Car, all that stuff. But like, I want to go back and like all the books that people say these are the classics, like that kind of fed into modern day stuff. That's what I kind of want to read to see like now when I read books after reading those, does it change how I look at them?
Mhm.
Because something's not novel anymore once you've read what came before.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's also like how far back do you want to go?
Yeah, that's fair.
You know,
That's
there's
fair. That'd be a lot.
there's a lot of stuff. I mean, it's just there's so many there's so many books out there. It's especially, I mean, not in any genre, but specifically when you talk about fantasy or sci-fi, there's just, it just goes back. If you go look up how like Tor Publishing, which like publishes a lot of fantasy, they've been around for a long time.
Mhm.
They've been publishing fantasy books for a long time. So there's just like this deep catalog of things that I went there's a used bookstore close to me that I went and I checked out not too long ago. And they had all these fantasy books from like the 80s,
Ooh.
right? Like
Yeah, like the ones that are like shorter, like thicker books,
uh s-
like that
s-
old school font.
yeah, yeah, like they almost look like what the current mass paperbacks are.
Yeah,
But yeah, they're like thick and they're short. It's like if you get like an old copy of Wheel of Time,
yeah.
like that's what they all look like. But
Love
there was
those.
there was I was like, what the hell? What are these books? I've never heard of any.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, there was like
If
a whole fantasy series from Tor about, I forgot what it was called, but the whole series is about some girl who hangs out with a bunch like a wolf pack, and they're all intelligent wolves. They can speak. She's like fighting some sorcerer or something. I was like, this is interesting.
Mhm. Did you read it? Did you grab it?
No,
Okay.
I didn't.
Damn.
But there was so many of them on the shelf. I was like, this is
I
crazy.
see. Okay. Well, I actually wanted to piggyback off that. For people who out there, I'm a I'm a lean on your recommendation expertise here. For people out there who are trying to get into reading, into reading sci-fi fantasy books,
Yeah.
um, where would you take them? Where would you guide them to start with?
Ooh.
Caveating that like this is a general recommendation. You don't know the person, obviously, but
Yeah, I mean, how old are they?
let's say like the our like their They're in
Like
their
30? They're 30?
mid to late 20s, early 30s, for like that kind of age range.
Um, yeah, it's people ask me that, and it's a tough one because sometimes somebody needs something a little less dense,
Mhm.
right? To really get into something. Oh, okay. So for me, what comes up is, uh, some people may not agree with this, but I would say, if you want a fantasy series that isn't like full blown like, I mean, it's fantasy, but it's still a little bit tethered in the real world. Harry Potter.
Mhm.
I think Harry Potter is a good one. Um, if you're like, hey, I'm there's like certain questions that I would ask somebody in
Okay,
order.
let's go through those. Let's go through those questions you would ask and see if have people
Well, like,
ask that
okay,
to
like
themselves.
for example, uh, I would ask like, okay, like, do you like space? Do you like Star Wars? For example, maybe if they said yes, okay, Red Rising I think is a very easy one, even though it's not like full blown Star Wars. I mean, there's
Mhm.
epic scope. There's a
Do you think it's
mythology.
palatable for a new reader, or will they need, like, a couple of books underneath their belts to really, like, either appreciate or get through? Because I feel like there's a decent amount of also body horror having gone
To
through the first
to
Red
read
Rising.
Red Rising, I think the first 3 books are more YA,
Okay.
you know, and then as the series progresses, it matures even more,
Okay.
right? Um, the Hunger Games trilogy,
Mhm.
uh, is something that I would tell people to read. Like I said, Harry Potter. Uh, for me, if somebody like likes fantasy, maybe they like. Like you were talking about questions. Like, do you like fantasy movies? Maybe they've seen Lord of the Rings, right? Uh, I think Aragon for me would be something that I would
Mhm.
suggest to people, even though it is a YA series. I feel like there's enough there.
I
There's
feel
a
like it
lot
still
of
holds up too.
yeah. I think I mean it's I recently reread the first one. I haven't read the other ones. I did get them all on Amazon Day or whatever the hell it's called. I have the whole series now, and I need to reread it. But I read it a while ago, and I think it's entertaining. There's a lot of
Mhm.
great elements in there. It's an easy read too. That's another thing too. If somebody's like, because there's people. So I think that I know we're like kind of bouncing around, but there's that question of if somebody's like, I want to get into sci-fi fantasy, for example. I think one of the questions you have to ask them first and foremost is like, do you actually read other kinds of books,
Mhm.
right? Because somebody who's like never read anything versus somebody who's like, oh yeah, no, I like read self help or whatever. At least there's there's something there. So maybe
Right.
you could go a little denser or maybe not
Mhm.
versus somebody who's like, I've never read a book. Like the last time I read a book was in middle school, which is actually interesting enough on booktok. There's a lot of that,
Yeah.
which actually surprised me more.
Yeah.
I was like, oh wow, there's like a lot of people that I think this is going back to what you were saying. Like people are saying like reading is now the thing to do. But I was actually genuinely surprised at how many people have like gotten into loving to read who like
Mhm.
haven't read a book since they were in like middle school or whatever, or like high
Mhm.
school, and those are
Why do
all
you
like,
think that is?
I don't know. I think, because I think when you're in middle school and high school, at least back then, I can't speak on the current state of everything. Things you read, you were kind of forced to read them.
Yep.
You had to give like a book report.
Yep.
Who wants to do that?
Yep.
Like, would you read if every time you had to read a book that was recommended to you, or like if you can wave a magic wand and every time you decided to read a book that was recommended from booktok, you had to write a 10-page report on it, would you actually really enjoy reading the book?
Hell no.
Yeah, exactly. So,
Hell no.
you know, I mean, there are books that I did read that I was forced to read in school that I enjoyed, right?
Sure.
But it was
Yeah.
very rare. And most of the
Yeah.
time, and it's even worse now, we had like Spark Notes. You didn't have to read the book. You would just, what's the summary of this chapter? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Here's things
Yeah.
that happened. I can't even, there's maybe like 3 books, not even. I'm thinking right now. There's 2 books I remember reading for school that I remember reading them. I can't tell you any other book that I read. The first one was To Kill a Mockingbird,
Yep.
and the second one is, no, 3. There's 3. Lord of the Flies
Yep.
and uh, Of Mice and Men.
Oh, interesting. We never had to read that one. Can I give you my list?
Yeah.
Now that you've posed the
That
question.
that's all I remember. Like, I know I read
Interesting.
more than that.
Yeah.
I can't tell you what else I read.
Let's see if this jogs your memory. So same, To Kill a Mockingbird, Lord of Flies, The Jungle, Heart of Darkness, The Crucible, Scarlet Letter, Beowulf. I think we read Huck Finn or Tom
Okay,
Sawyer,
yeah,
one of those
Huck Finn
two.
we read. I remember Huck. Yeah, now that you say that, yeah.
Um, that's where my memory stops too. I'm done.
I
I'm
mean, you got
done.
more than me.
I'm done. And I
There's
hated it.
definitely
I
more.
hated every minute of it.
Now that I say, like, The Great Gatsby, I remember Great
Yes.
Gatsby.
Yes. Yeah. Oh,
Everyone's read that.
Glass Castle. That was one. I remember we had to like make a final report project on Glass Castle, and everybody um like wrote like an extra epilogue story that was like part of like you could either do one or the other, or you could like build your own Glass Castle. I picked up Google 3D image creator because I was a nerd. I was still a nerd back then, and I created like a 3D model of a house inside the Google Image 3D Creator and just brought that to school as my project. I put a little iPhone on the table. I had
Oh,
like a 2-story thing. I had a little bed in there. Had a little
no.
yard.
Yeah. I I mean, going back to that question of why do you think people kind of fell out of their their habit of reading or whatever you want to call it, is, yeah, I think it's because a lot of what we read was
Mhm.
forced on us, and
Yeah.
you know
What?
um,
Okay, I'm going to. I've been itching. Like I've been like scratching my neck trying to ask you this question. It's gonna be a tangent.
all right,
I
go
just
for
need you to answer truthfully. Okay? How tall are you?
it. 5'11".
I thought you were so much taller. Okay.
Really? How old did you think I was?
I thought you were like 6'4". I
No,
don't know. I don't know why. I saw
I'm
one Maurice Afriche video and I just thought you were tall.
the video where he was like joking about us. Yeah, yeah, yeah. No,
Yeah.
5'11". Not that.
Yeah. I didn't go too deep, so I was like, oh my god, he's so much taller than I thought he was.
No,
Damn.
no. That
Okay.
whole video was like him joking.
I see.
Yeah,
I see. Good book though.
He had some people in there that he said were super tall, which I know for a fact are like short kings.
Hmm.
No, 5'11". I'm okay with it.
I would grab my copy of Cello's Gate, but it's literally sitting behind me. But everybody, Cello's Gate by Maurice Afriche. Good book.
Good book.
Hopefully in this,
Entertaining, fun.
yeah, very entertaining. I would honestly put a book like that and give it to somebody and say, "Hey, read this if you haven't read before." Only because, like, it's pretty palatable. It's pretty like entry level. It's not super like
I feel like
intense.
it's kind of like a pulp. It's like a pulpy action like
Mhm.
adventure. It has like yeah, I know what you're saying. Um, it does take a little bit to get into it, you know,
Yeah.
and I think in that's another thing. I feel like we just live in a world and a society where everyone wants instant gratification, right? We live in like this social media algorithm brain rot world. So everybody wants like instant gratification. If things take a little bit of time to get going, you lose people.
Mhm.
So yeah, that's like something I think about when I think about books that um I would like recommend to somebody right off
Mhm.
the bat. Like, I mean, I think Dune is one of the
What's
greatest.
your aim with this whole just talking about books online?
There's no aim. I
Is there
think
no
there's just
ulterior purpose?
there's no purpose. It's just creative outlet.
Mhm.
Um, I mean, okay, so like on the actually like deeper level, creative outlet, but I think it was a way for me to connect with like I said, like-minded people. But I'm also in a very interesting place in my own life personally where I have a my core group of friends have been people I've known since either middle school or high school.
Mhm,
And I have other friends as well, but like my core group, there's like
mhm,
13, 14 of us. And so this is a little tangent, but where I grew up, there were two middle schools, Santa Monica, California, two middle schools, and half of us met in one middle school, and the other half met
mhm.
in the other middle school and became friends. And then we all met in high school and we became friends, and we've been friends since. And now the vast majority of my friends are married, have serious girlfriends, and have children, and I'm like the last man standing.
I
So
see.
yeah, I think it came from that too. Is like there was I had it's like I'm not a person that necessarily likes to go out. Like you're not gonna find me at the bar. You know,
Mhm.
if you find me at a bar, it means somebody has forced me there.
Sure.
Like some event happening, and this is where we're meeting. This is I'm not choosing that.
Mhm,
I'm not really choosing to go out in that way. So I think the reading and connecting with people came from a place of just uh not I don't want to say it's not loneliness. It's from a place of just like how it used to be isn't it's not how it used to be, right?
mhm.
Like socially. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Because people have kids and they're living their lives. And so there was just a lot of like me by myself.
Mhm,
So having that community and again, like I said, finding people that are talking about these things that are interesting to them that I find interesting, uh,
mhm,
that's kind of how it happened, right? There's no goal. Like I know some people are like, oh, I want to be a book influencer and I want this and that. And it's been a little over a year since I started booktok, and I initially was like, oh, it'd be great to have like 10K followers before a
mhm,
year. It's like it hasn't happened, and that's okay.
mhm.
I just realized like it's not that serious, you
Yeah.
know. For some people, it's very serious. I see it. I'm like, oh
Mhm,
wow, there's a lot of um, I say time and energy,
mhm.
going, and it's great. I love it. I love seeing people do those things. Um, yeah, that was a little bit of a rant tangent. Uh, I had something else to say, and it kind of just flashed out of my brain.
We can circle back to it if you remember it, because I
Yeah,
kinda
no,
wanted to.
I was just wrapping up, like, there's no real goal, you
Mhm,
know? It's, connect with people, talk to people,
mhm,
and make some friends along the way, which I have, which has been great.
mhm.
There's people I met on BookTok, I have their phone number, we text each other, "Hey, what's up? How are you?" Have a little
Yeah.
FaceTime, "What's going on?"
Oh, that's
Uh,
cool.
yeah, it's been nice, it's been interesting. Um, I guess I've just had the time and the space for it all, so
Mhm.
yeah. I don't know if that answers the question or not, but
I mean, your answer is the answer to the question. Uh, what then, you know, you're spending this time reading these books, posting about it online just for fun, for connectivity, for just more friends. You're adding to your now 13 core group to it with another external set of friends. Putting book talk aside, what is it that you want out of life?
mm, mm, the true deep questions. What do I want out of life? It's interesting you asked me that because I've thought about that a lot the last couple years, especially this last year. Um, I I don't think I'm a very I mean, all people are complex, but I feel like I'm a simple person, and this is I've been told that I'm a simple man, not in like a negative way. Uh, I there's like layers to this question. So first and foremost, I want to be happy, but like happiness for me is also understanding that you can be con- be content and grateful for what you have and where you are in life. Desire more, but it doesn't have to make you or break you. I don't know if that makes sense. That's like a kind of like a vast thought that I've had. Um, but on a more like specific level, even though that is specific, um, what I want in life is I want to have a family. You know, I think for a long time I didn't want to have a child, and within the last I went from like I absolutely don't want to have a child to yeah, I think maybe that would be cool, to being like, yeah, I think that I want to have a kid. And uh so yeah, having a family, you know, having a
Mhm.
child, being able to pass on the things that I've learned about this human experience, um, to the next generation. Uh, I think as you know, you're brown, so you might understand this. I think uh, our ancestors, our families, came from a part of the world that has seen a lot of colonialism and fracturing and violence and trauma and all that stuff. And I don't know how much you believe in the idea of these things living in the DNA, but
Mhm.
I personally feel like I shattered some ancestral uh, familial stuff, that I've started a new paradigm, a new
Mhm.
cycle. And so I feel like if I didn't have a child, that would kind of be a waste
Mhm.
if it just stopped with me. And so I want to be able to pass that on.
Mhm.
What was the original question?
What do you want out of life?
Oh, what do I want out of life? Yes. I think, yeah, I mean, again, contentment, happiness, family. Uh,
Mhm.
if there's a house in there somewhere along the way, great. But I
In
also,
this market,
yeah, I also live in California. I live in Los Angeles, in one of the worst
damn,
places. You know,
damn.
I work in an industry that kind of has like, there's only a few places you can really be. Uh,
Mhm.
I mean, I work in music, so um,
You say that a lot. What do you do?
I am I'm the label manager slash A&R for a music wellness company. It's called Peace of Mind, and we do ambient music, meditation music, spa, lo-fi beats, piano, neoclassical. We've started moving into jazz. Um, yeah, that's what I do. That's my day to day.
Interesting.
Yeah,
Is that
and
why
then
you're so calm and simple and collected all the time? You never raise your voice, you never get loud.
I
Your
get
voice is
loud.
always
I mean,
your voice is always so soothing and at the same pitch all the time. Like Big Brother Baba's gonna take care of everything.
it's no, I mean, I think a lot of that. I think what I do now is in alignment with what I evolved into
Mhm.
as a human being. I wasn't always this way, you know. Um,
Yeah.
it's been a long it's been a long process, but to end up in, well, so on another tangent, uh, the label I work for now, the founders have another label that's like more of an indie label, and I used to work there, and I left, and then they asked me to come back for this
Mhm, I see.
for Peace of Mind. But when they asked me to come back, they said, out of everybody we know, you're the one that makes sense to do this. Uh,
Mhm.
yeah, I was a yoga teacher for almost 3 years. You know,
Oh, yeah.
I've kind of like lived in this wellness and kind of mindfulness space within myself. Uh,
Mhm.
which is, but then on book talk too, I get to kind of play. Sometimes I play a character, like I'm
Yeah.
in there, but I also kind of play a character.
Mhm. I mean,
Yeah,
I feel like it's if you don't play a character sometimes, there's you kinda get stale after a while, right? You just sometimes you just, like, you just wanna act. You just wanna act like a little bitch, a little bit like, act like a dumbass sometimes, act like a, you know, whatever the fuck. Me? I love acting misogynistic. That's my thing. It goes well with my facade as well, so it's fine. Um, but
I don't think I've ever heard you say anything in that lane. But if you say so,
no, I only say that because right as I was making that entire bit, I just remembered something that Salinger said of a joke that I made. He's like, "This is a little bit misogyny coded," and I was like, "You know what? It is because I said it that way." Um,
I
but
met I met Salinger in person.
yeah, I saw you met up with like people. How was that? I
It was
I
cool.
will say like I was in a live with Sam Boyd and Darius yesterday, and they were talking about like meeting people IRL that they have met online on Book Talk, and thinking about how potentially awkward but also really easy to click it could be. How well did you click with people that you've met only talked to online?
I mean, it was cool. We had a dinner. We went to the Pierce Brown signing. We had dinner before. I mean, I don't know. I can only speak for myself. I felt like I got along with everybody. Everybody was cool.
Mhm,
Uh, yeah, I don't know. I didn't feel weird about it. I
mhm,
didn't feel awkward. Now they might have felt that way about me, but to me, I was just like, oh, it's like okay, here you are,
yeah,
Brandon. You're tall as shit. But yeah, I think I'm thinking about that question you asked, like what do I want in life? You know, it also made me like think about this idea of something that I do want in life is uh, making an impact. And I don't mean like on a global scale. I just mean
mhm,
making an impact in the lives of the people around me.
mhm,
Um, so that, when that day comes, as it comes for all of us, whether it's sooner or later, and I go, that I'm, remembered for bringing a little light into people's lives, however that may
sure,
be.
yeah,
Uh, but yeah, I don't like. I keep thinking about that question. I'm like, man, like, do I have like, like financial goals? Like, do I want? Like, I'm not like a materialistic person. Uh,
mhm.
aside for the goddamn books.
Yeah, it's tough. Once you find, like, that one thing, which for I'm assuming you and me is books, like, it is I was able to hold off on buying books for so long, right up until, like, this year, last year, I got married, moved in with my wife, and she kind of, like, eased me out of my whole materialistic thing of, like, I mean, if you like the book, get the book. I mean, why not? I'm like, "Yeah, but, like, we had to move with it, and we're not settled down yet, and we keep having to go places with it." But then she's like, "Yeah, but you enjoy them." I'm like, "Yeah." So, now, like, I was at Aparna Verma's book signing on Saturday, and I bought 9 books. Um
Is she the one that wrote the Phoenix something?
Yes. Phoenix
Okay,
King.
I want to read that one because you
It
actually were talking about.
flames. Flames. I do like books that I feel free to not shut up about, but at the same time, because she's an author, we're also, like, friendly now, um, and in the book talk space, like, there's other people who are reading it, it almost feels like more of a pass just to keep talking about the book because I like to talk about it, but other people will also, like, understand that, like, yeah, I saw this person talk about it, and this person talk about it, and this person talk about it, so it's like, it kinda gives you a bit more of a pass to talk freely about it. But I like it a lot. Her book 2 just came out, which is why I went to the signing. I bought 4 signed books, and, um, I ended up getting 3 books of Will White's Cradle series, the 3 that I've read. They had 10 out of the 12 there, and I looked at my friend that was with me, and I was like, "I need you to talk me out of buying 10 books right now, right this minute, because I will drop a rack on this shit right now." Um and I only bought 3. And then I bought Empire of the Vampire.
Oh man, that's a good one.
Yeah.
That's one of my
I've
favorite.
heard y'all talking about it so much. I'm like, I'm gonna buy it so it's in front of my face.
I That was one of my favorite books I read this year. Um, I would like to I'm still thinking about this question that you asked me. I'd like to throw it back to you.
What do I want out of life?
What do you want out of life?
Um, to color that, for the past year and a half, I felt very uninspired and unexcited about literally everything in life. So I've been trying to figure out this question because it changes every single year. And every single year I do this exercise with myself, like, what's my ideal day? When I'm like 10 years out, what's my ideal day? And when I first did it in like 2021, it was like, love to wake up, go on a walk, make some content, read a book, edit the content, hang out with family. Next year, after that, it was like, I started podcasting. I was like, I would love to wake up, have some conversations with people, read a book, hang out with family. Fast forward to 2023 or 2024 and 2025, it's kind of gotten grayed out a little bit because I don't really know right now. I know I still want a family because same as you, I never wanted kids ever. Up until I got married, my wife and I do want kids. We wanted to spend some time together before the kids part came in. And just over the past year, I've been like mentally changing over to like kids would be cool, and to the point where I think like eventually when we do try for a child, I'll be at the point of like I'm so pumped. I don't
Mhm.
care what aggressive changes it brings into my life. I'm just ready to alter my entire existence at this point. So if family's in there, I do want $1 million in some way, form, or fashion, whether it's in the level of my assets or a cash value in my account. And those are two completely different things.
Just
I just don't
just
know which
one
one.
1,000,000? You just want $1,000,000, not 2?
I just want one.
Just 1.
Just one. I don't at this point, I don't need more. I just want one. Um, and I think that's because I felt so like uninspired to do things internally, I've been kind of like maybe this is unhealthy, but I've been kind of latching onto external like desires and goals in this stage of life or this phase just to like pull me along, knowing that like before I got to this spot, I still wanted to do things. I wanted to become a moderately successful online personality of some sort. I wanted to become, um, I wanted to have a healthy physique and a healthy like mind and body. Those two in the drain right now. But that's what I wanted. Now, I think I was happy before I started content. I genuinely think I was probably happier before I started content, but I was also doing what I felt like nothing with my life because I was just working. I'm an accountant. I do taxes for high net worth individuals. And so I do taxes for people who have my entire yearly salary as a, a dividend payout at the end of the year. Like
Yeah.
it looking at those numbers, it like warped my like one, it warped my idea of like the value of money. But two, I was like, all of these people have a level of wealth that is attainable. And even throughout like mainly throughout college is when this like clicked to me of like I had this idea of like one, if I can do it, other people can do it. And so I started like doing things to prove to like myself and other people that it's possible, even for a dude like me who's a nobody. And two, I always like the most fun things I always did started with it would be cool if.
Hmm.
It would be cool if I could get a dragon flag. And I worked like hard for like 4 years to achieve a dragon flag. And then along the way I got the muscle up, front lever, other calisthenic techniques. And then I was like, it would be cool to buy a house, to have a house. And I got that like 2023. Um, it would be cool to have a YouTube channel, and I just started one. Then I didn't know where it was going to go. I just started one. I know the only thing at that time that I wanted to talk about was books, so I just started talking about books. Then it was like it would be cool to have a podcast to talk about life, and that started. Um, it would be cool to have a type of clothing that I could wear all the time and not have to worry about buying new clothes, and then I did that. So like everything I start with, everything I think like it would be cool to, I just do. But I'm kind of in that spot of like you're doing all these things amazing, but where are they getting you? And Are you actually enjoying them? Are you just sticking around because 'cause you've been doing this for so long? There have been times when I wanted just to stop making book content altogether because I was like, "It's really just a waste of my time," it feels like. I still read, but, like, this weekly, daily pump to record and bulk out videos and edit and get them out and all this stuff, like, is it really doing anything for me in my life? And, like, what I'm envisioning, what I want out of life? Maybe, maybe not. Should I stop, etcetera? Right now, I just think I wanna be content with in life. I want to be able to strive for more, even if I don't get it, be content where I am with a family and just be safe. I think that's really it. Um, but the way that I'm going right now, I'm not going towards it, which is why I've been, like, trying to rethink my priorities, rethink what I wanna do. I have a really hard time letting go. So, like,
Mm,
I started booktok, I started booktube, my booktube has you know, I really get frustrated just with the timeline of things. I started all this stuff in 2022. I'm not even at 2K on TikTok in my brain, not to say anybody else, putting down anybody else. I'm not even at 2K on TikTok. I'm not even at 1K on Instagram. I'm not even at 1K on YouTube. And I've been doing this for 3 years. And
mm.
people will start this year and go above me in the same year. And it's like, I always like try and think like, is this what I should be doing?
Yeah,
Am I deluding myself? Right? Am I wasting time? And could this energy be used for something else?
I think those are fair questions, and a lot of that resonates with me, especially, I've been feeling on the content side, like, just uninspired, and I'm like, "Man, what's the point?" Like,
Mhm.
you know? And again, I think, yeah, like, seeing people just hop on and just blow up is crazy, and good for them, I'm not, like,
Yeah.
upset with them or anything, but
Yeah.
you kinda just go, "Oh, man." Um, but then I try to remind myself that, at the end of the day, it's just, for me, I think that when I was taking it more serious than it had to be,
Mhm.
I was growing, but I was also kind of not in alignment with myself.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? And it kind of became a game.
Mhm.
And yeah, I a couple things I did is I switched. I kind of put myself on a book buying ban. So I bought but I've every time I've the only books I've really bought in the last few months are um every time I finished a Dungeon Crawler Carl audio book, I bought the
Mhm.
book, as a physical.
Yeah.
And there's like one or two other books, like the Aragon series I got it for like $20 or whatever. That and also just going to the library and
Mhm.
checking out books from the library, I think kind of changed things.
Mhm.
So I'm like, oh man, this is like kind of like turned into a game, and I don't really like it.
Yeah.
Um, and
Well,
that's not
I do feel a little bit of not envy, but, like, just a little bit of, like, latent desire, like, I do also wish I understood and was capable of playing the same game because 'cause I'm so aggressively, like, in my own world that, like, we know book reviews don't really work to blow up. That's all I'm doing. I'm reading and reviewing and reading and reviewing, and then I might give you a 5 book, 10 book recommendation at some point, right?
but the crazy thing is some people do book reviews and blow up.
Yeah.
There's no, like, rhyme or reason to any of it. That's the thing. It's and I think I mean, definitely the algorithm, especially on TikTok, the algorithm has gotten, like, worse.
Mhm.
Um, so things have shifted and changed, and I don't know. I think going back to this central question, like, what do you want in life? If I'm gonna look at it from the content perspective of, like, all of that, like, what do I want in life? I don't want to spend my life making content
Mhm.
that, like, I'll adjust that a little bit. I don't wanna spend my life making content that I actually don't wanna make.
Yeah.
Like, and I see that. I see people trying to kinda be something that they're not, um, and for some of them it works, for some other people it doesn't work.
Mhm.
Uh, there's no formula. I don't have the answers here. I'm just a dude on the internet that people
We're
call the
just
book they call book baba, and that's not even my name. It's just funny.
yeah.
Um, yeah, I don't know what I was trying to say about all that. I don't know the point of any of that was. It was
Well, I
just a
think you're just saying that what you want out of life isn't what that has to offer you, right? Like, what
yeah,
the
and
game
yeah,
of content
exactly.
has
And
to offer you is not what you
you can
want.
get I think you can get trapped. I think you can very easily, because it happened to me, is you can get trapped in the desire. And yeah, I mean, like, everyone's human. I think we all should be able to admit that, sometimes you see something working for somebody, and there is a little bit of envy. There's
Mhm.
jealousy. It's like, oh man, like I could do that better than that person. Like, why not? You know what I mean? That's
Mhm.
just a very human thing, and that exists outside of book talk or whatever too. That's just
Mhm.
like you were saying, right? You're doing taxes for these people, and you're like,
Yeah.
what the hell, man?
Yeah. Like, my
You know?
brain says that there should be a way for me to attain the same level of what I want, given that I see everybody who else is doing it. It's just I wake up in the morning, and that's not what I wanna do. Yet, like I want to do it, but I don't do it. Does that make sense?
Yeah. No, I mean,
Um
I get it, because I kind of feel like I know, for example, I haven't been consistent with posting, and I know that if I just had this goal of like 10K,
Mhm.
and I'm not that far off,
Yeah.
but to continue to do that, to continue to get, I know the type of stuff that I have to continuously talk about things and make lists and the 5 books, this and this and that and that, to get like followers, and it's exhausting.
Mhm.
It's like it takes up a lot of time. And
It
then
does
and
take
then
a
you
long
go
time.
"Oh man, actually I'm doing all of this, but I'm not actually reading. Oh wait, okay, but now I'm doing all of this, so now I actually have to read. So actually now I'm not doing some other things I probably could be doing because
Mhm.
I'm reading so much to." It's like just this weird, uh it's like this weird, like, yes, you're almost like you're like chasing this tail,
Yeah.
um, that you don't have to be chasing.
Yeah.
I th
No,
I
that's
th
true.
I thought about this, like, a bunch, actually. Just like, for example, I learned how to play the guitar over the pandemic. I literally just sat for months on my couch, and I learned how to play the guitar, which was always something that I had wanted to do. It never stuck, but it finally happened. But then I, like, plateaued, and I know what I need to do to become a better guitar player. It's like I have to sit down, and I have to, like, do the drills, and I have to maybe go get lessons or whatever it is.
Mhm.
But and I think about that, I'm like, "Oh, man, well, I could be spending my time doing that. Instead, I'm over here fucking stumbling through this this book review
Yeah.
that, like, not that many people in the grand scheme of things are even seeing."
Mhm.
Um, so, like, what am I really doing? I don't know. I'm just ranting at this point.
Yeah.
Uh, I would just say, I guess the way I would, taking a step back, is like, if that's something you enjoy, for anybody out there, and that brings you like true joy in your soul, keep doing it.
Mhm.
And do the things that bring you joy. That's actually back to the question, what do you want in life? I want to live a life of joy.
Mhm.
And joy doesn't necessarily mean that it's all extravagant, but like
Mhm.
living a joyful life, uh, I think it takes practice, right? Even like
Right.
even finding joy in like the simplicity of like the day-to-day human experience. Um, yeah, and I think in this social media climate that we live in, it's tough because we're constantly being robbed of joy, consciously or subconsciously, because of how the algorithm like slams us.
Mhm.
Just forget book talk for a second. I mean, even going on like Instagram and like looking at So for example, I'll just talk about my own kind of like working in music, working with artists, and meeting artists and meeting quote unquote influencers, or even when I was teaching yoga in
Mhm.
LA, I had through friends met and knew a lot of these like quote unquote yoga influencers who have these like perfectly curated feeds and everything's great and they're traveling the world and they're looking hot and everything's great, and then you meet them and you're like, oh my god, you're a terrible person, or
Mhm.
you're so miserable. Like, what's that? Like, wait, what? I'm over here, and I remember at the time, I'll never forget. At the time, I was dating this girl who like kind of wanted that for herself, you know.
Mhm.
And and we ended up breaking up. Whatever, that's a whole other story. But in the aftermath, I remember like meeting some of these people that she was like following. That she like kind of wanted to be. Oh, like this is such a great like. I'm jealous of this life. I want this. It's like, "Oh my god, you're such a miserable person. You're so unhappy.
Mhm.
What is that?"
Yeah.
So I think that, we live in this world where we see things on a screen that this is what I'm trying to say. It's like we live in a world where we're constantly looking at a screen that is feeding us information that's robbing us of our joy because we, on a subconscious level, feel like where we are at, what we have, the things in our lives aren't. It's like, oh, I don't have that. I want to achieve that. I want to obtain that. And it kind of like just wherever you are, a lot of times you don't appreciate what you truly have.
Mhm.
Because it's always about like there's something better, and it's not even that like I can think that there's something better. I can actually see it. I see the
Yeah.
pictures, I see the videos, I see everything. And you can apply
Yeah.
that to like the book talk space, right? It's like being like, oh my god, here's somebody who's doing the exact same thing I'm doing and they have 60,000 followers and I only have X amount. Like, what the hell? I
There's,
don't know.
there's a couple of things I wanted to go like, for going all the way back to one of the first things you were talking about where you already feel a level of contentment with life, and, like, a based on level of happiness, and one of the definitions of happiness that I heard in the past, which you said you thought of this yourself, and I think that's a kudos to you, 'cause I had to hear it from somebody else, is happiness is being content with what you have, where you are, who you are, and even if you do have desires to be more, want more, do more, if those don't come to fruition, they don't take away from your already, um, internal level of happiness.
Yeah.
That's,
And
like,
then
what
also
happiness
that's
is.
not something I necessarily figured out for myself. There was many painful lessons and
Mhm.
people along the way that had to I learned that through
Yeah.
the crucible of life, I guess.
Mhm.
Um, but yeah, that's like something that I constantly try to remind myself of, um, because you can get lost in the sauce so easily,
For
you know.
sure.
And also, I live in LA, and LA is like a very, very get lost in the sauce kind of city. I'm
Mhm.
from here, and you know, LA natives, I feel like a little more grounded and chill, but the energy of the city and like the
For
people that
people who,
come
like, move to LA to be part of the
here,
industry, they're, like, trying to
exactly,
get into something.
exactly. So there's a lot of and then I work in music, so I see a lot of that. I see a lot
Mhm.
of just people playing characters. Is everyone's playing? It's
Mhm.
like, are you an authentic person? Are you real? Like, what's going on?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Uh,
Well, I feel like that's also why I get so hesitant to, like, talk to people online, even on book talk or whatever these spaces are, because 'cause I'm like, "I don't know if you're real."
oh, you don't. But that's the thing. You don't know that. And I've already had experiences on in the community where I'm like, okay, you're no excuse. for lack of a better phrase, like, "Oh, you're a piece of shit," and I can see
Mhm.
that, you know,
Mhm.
uh, and you're pretending like you're not, but okay. You
Mhm.
never know, you know, it's but it's like whether you meet somebody online or even meeting somebody in real life,
It's the same, I guess.
it's the
Yeah.
same, you know, um, it's the same thing,
Mhm.
at the end of the day when you strip it all back, especially if you're, like,
Yeah.
building a connection with somebody, whether it's online or in the real world,
Mhm.
uh, yeah, you never know who's what. I personally, for me, I feel like I think I'm usually a good judge of character, uh, and, you know, you spend enough time interacting with somebody for usually, I'm not saying it's always the case, you can kind of figure out on some level, like, is this a real person or are they just full of crap? But yeah, you never know.
Mhm.
You never know. And like, you know, I've met people face to face and like, oh yeah, this they seem great. And then it turns out that they're not so great. And you're like, oh, that sucked.
It's unfortunate.
Right.
Yeah. You know, there's, going to the comparison thing we were talking about earlier, and this is just something that I thought of that I thought I'd share in case, you like having this little nugget in your head. Um, the way I looked at it was, historically, before the age of social media, we weren't ever comparing ourselves to people who are 20 levels above us. Like, the way I see it is, like, we were really meant to compare ourselves if we were comparing ourselves to people who were locally around our same level. You compare yourself to your peers in school, you compare yourself to your colleagues at work, you compare yourself to people in your local community, etcetera. You didn't really see, like, the CEO of the town 300 miles on the other side of the area where you were. You didn't really know that guy existed. So, like, you didn't
Yeah.
have to have that, like, I'm a manager at this job, and I've been stuck here for 15 years, and that guy's a CEO over there 300 miles over there, and he's living it up in his penthouse. You didn't really see that, or it wasn't in your face so much to where if you felt like you had to care about it, you really don't have to care about your local community at that point.
Yeah. I mean, I think to build on that point, back in the day before all of this, I would be living where I was living, and I had no idea that there's like a whole group of guys in Dubai who are driving around in their Ferraris and getting crazy, and they got pet tigers,
Mhm.
and they're living in
That's fair.
skyscrapers. You know, like, you might have heard the
Yeah.
stories, maybe you saw a picture in a magazine, but it wasn't,
Yeah.
like, in your face. Now it's in your
Mhm.
face. Now it's like, "Oh, okay." Um, yeah, I mean, I think it takes a lot of as individuals, I think it takes a lot of, what's the word I'm looking for? I think it takes a certain level of kind of, mental, emotional, and spiritual, for lack of a better word, awareness to not get swept up in that, and I feel like most people do get swept up in that, uh, which is
Yeah,
why
I
every
mean,
which is why
they're
everyone
not teaching mental, spiritual awareness in school these days, Baba. That's kinda
I know, but
we need you as part of the school board, my friend. We need
no,
you as part of
they don't
we need you in the
don't listen to me.
PTA.
Don't listen to me, I don't belong anywhere, I'm just saying, and they never did, they didn't really, it
Mhm,
wasn't in our face, so it was like,
mhm.
you know, it was different. It was different, but it was the same. It was there's always like same, but different, you know?
Yeah,
Like no
yeah,
matter where you like where what period of time you go into, you're like,
yeah,
oh yeah, okay. There's always like these common threads.
yeah.
But now it's like on steroids, it's accelerated. So I don't know what that says.
Mhm,
Uh I do personally, all I can really do is take care of myself, right? And through extension, allow that to ripple out to those in my sphere of influence. Um, but yeah, like that's all I can do is
mhm.
just try
Yeah,
to be a a reasonable, well-adjusted human being.
Mhm.
But yeah, they don't teach you how to do that. Nobody
Yeah.
teaches.
Yeah.
Nobody teaches you how to do that.
And if they do, they're scamming you with the online course and,
Oh god. Yeah, it's a whole don't even get me started. Like I said, man, just, meeting some of these, especially in like the yoga space and like these like the spiritual space, I'm like, "Oh, you're just like a full-blown narcissist. Cool.
Mhm.
Oh, but you're also, you know, selling people something. Awesome. This is great.
Mhm.
This is great.
Good
We're
time,
doing
good
great. We're
time.
doing
Love
amazing.
that.
We're doing
We are
amazing.
not fucked as a society. Um, I wanna get your thoughts on something
Sure. I mean, my thoughts have been here the whole time.
as we've been doing this entire time. Um, how's your book going?
Man, okay, so that's a funny thing that you brought that up because that's something I've been thinking about. I have just fallen off the wagon, man. Like,
Mm,
I have not carved out the time. I think about it. I think about it a lot. I'm like, "Oh, man,
yeah,
I gotta get back to that." But there's, like, a lot of things that kinda, like, happened, uh, in the last few months that have, like, taken up my time.
sure.
Um, so the honest answer to the question is not good because it's
Okay.
kind of just frozen.
Mhm.
It's still alive in my brain, and
Yeah.
um, I want to get back to it.
Mhm.
Uh, yeah, it's just a matter of being accountable to myself, which I haven't done. Also, like work's gotten. I'm not making excuses, but work has gotten a little more crazy. I started like dating somebody more seriously. And it's like all these things
Mhm.
like pull me in
Yeah.
different
I
directions.
mean, listen, I think what you should do is use the book as a flag finder, right? Right? So you're like, "Hey, come over and hang out," or if you have something to read, "Come bring your book. I'm writing up this, like, I'm working on a novel. Let's see if we can coexist in the same space, do
You know,
our
it's
own
so funny
things."
it's so funny that you say that because she is totally the type of person who could do that. And we haven't like that hasn't we've I've hung out with her and we've read together, which I was like, "Oh my god, this is amazing."
Yeah.
Like fantastic. Yes. Thank
Yes.
you. I don't have to feel but it's funny you say that because I did think about that. I'm like, man, this is totally a person. She knows about the book too. I've told her about it.
Mhm.
She's like, oh, that's great. She's totally the type of person that if I was uh like, hey, you should, just come over, you do your thing, I'll do my
Mhm.
thing, coexist. Um, yeah, so it's funny you said that because that is something that I've thought about. But it's me, it's
Yeah.
totally me. And I'm making excuses, but at the end of the day, there's really no excuse. Like I can find the time. I've just been distracting myself with nonsense.
This man's
And
really been
there's a
distracting
part
himself with
there's like a
pretty
part of
girls
me.
and social media, man.
What say again?
You've been distracting yourself with pretty girls and social media, man, like, you're just like the
Well,
rest of
part of
us.
it so like I said, I had a lot of time to myself. So I had got into the book talk stuff, but then I realized, you know, if I want certain things in life, I have to like put myself out there.
Right.
And, you know, you're married now, so you've achieved you've moved beyond that space of, actively like especially in a city like LA, actively like trying to date. Oh
Mhm.
my god, dude, I went on so many first dates.
So I don't envy people who are in the dating pool right now in the dating space because I've seen secondhand my old roommate back in 2022. We were living in Dallas, Texas, so still a decently populated area. And he was like going on dates and all this stuff. And he was like, it's a numbers game and all this stuff. And he was just like, not this one, not this one, not this one. Or like some things happen. I just, you keep going on dates. And I'm like, He was like, "Dude, it's getting expensive. All these like I'm kinda getting a little bit tired of talking to all these people sometimes." Um, like, nothing's really clicking. So one eventually one clicked, which I was happy for him for. But it just felt like the numbers game, like everybody was saying, because you're using, like, the app, which is a numbers game,
Yeah,
versus the, go to your local eatery or watering hole, and I love calling it that, even though it's just a bar. Like, go to your local eatery or watering hole and just try and, like, naturally find somebody, right? It's harder nowadays because people are a bit standoffish and or, um, aloof, but I sometimes feel like the old school method works, like, better, but that's my, like, second, like, removed opinion of the situation because 'cause I've known my now wife since my sophomore year of college, and we've been together since, like, for, like, 9 years now. So I
good
never
for you.
really had to do that, so
Yeah, I
I'm
mean,
chilling.
uh, I made it sound like I went on a lot of first dates. It's not to say that they were bad. I met a lot of really nice people, good conversations, but a lot of repetitive conversations, at least from
Right.
my end. For them, it's I'm sure it's the same. It's like it's the same kind of questions. We're talking about the same kind
Mhm,
of things, trying to navigate it all. And I met some great people for sure. Um, but yeah, like that's back to like the book thing. It was like that was something that I was like actively doing.
mhm.
So it takes time and energy,
Yeah.
right? And then I'm like reading and I'm trying to make content. I got like work and like for example now, through work that my boss like, I want you to learn piano.
Mm,
I'm like, great. So I'm gonna start. I mean, work's paying for it, so that's fantastic. But
yeah.
it's like another thing, of just time. Time is finite. It's limited. Um, so back to the book thing though. I continuously like I've been having this internal battle within myself of like how do I get back into a cadence,
Mhm,
right? Into a flow.
mhm.
Um, yeah, but it's interesting you you made that comment about her because she's also a creative. She's an actor,
Cool.
and she also, has certain things that she has to do for herself.
Mhm.
Like memorize lines or whatever for an audition.
Yeah.
So there is a world where I see that happening.
Mhm.
Like, if it continues as it is, maybe it'll all fall apart tomorrow. Who the hell really knows? But assuming things continue to progress, I can see that being a nice way of not feeling like, oh, I'm, like
Yeah.
spending the time that could be spent because, we both have our own things to do, but can we
Mhm,
coexist in a space?
mhm,
You do your thing, I do, which is obviously the goal anyhow. That is how
mhm.
it should be, you know?
And that's yeah, that's how that's I talked to a lot of people about that, like, are you trying to find somebody who you can coexist with? I well, even less than that, have you found somebody who you can be comfortable being silent with?
Yes, that's my always has been the biggest, like, well, I mean, it took me a while to learn, to it took like into my like after my 20s to like kind of realize and kind of like come to that realization of, oh, if you can like coexist with somebody in the silence
Mhm,
and be okay and comfortable,
mhm.
that's a good thing.
Yeah,
you know it
yeah,
doesn't have to this You don't need to fill the silence constantly.
yeah.
uh, I mean, if we can all only be so lucky.
I hope I that's kinda what I wanna see with people is learning how to be silent. Not in a bad way, but just, like, because we have so much noise. Like, my buddy, I was talking to him yesterday, and he put it very well. He was like, I'm trying to relearn how to feel bored and like be okay with feeling bored again. Which I kind of have gotten to the same space of like when I'm bored, I like fill that time, or I try and preemptively fill time when I think I could be bored, whether it's going on a walk with something in my ear, or working with a video on the side, or there's been times when I've been reading on my Kindle, but I still have something on the TV playing, kind of thing, right? Like just trying to
Oh,
fill certain.
I can't do that.
I only did that because I was so engrossed in the book that it didn't matter what was on the TV. I just for some reason it's like I needed something in the background
Need that
to
buzz.
make me feel like I'm doing something also, which is like really stupid because I was doing something. I was reading a fucking book, which is amazing. That's what I want to do. But yeah, learning how to feel bored again has been a treat. Um, I've been meditating a bit on and off over the past 2 months. Hasn't stuck, excuse me, for like a daily habit, and I've been really trying to make it stick for a daily habit, and it just hasn't stuck yet. Um, but when I do it, I've just felt like I've never felt this way meditating because I've tried it in the past multiple times, and I found a way to do it that like works, which is what everybody says. Like you had to find the way you do it. It's not going to be the same for everybody else. I just
Right.
never put in the time to find it. Um, but learning how to live in your silence, live in boredom, be okay with being bored, actually let yourself be bored. Therefore, then bringing out what your more internal desires are, as opposed to external influences of everything. Like you really don't need to listen to that third podcast today, Arish. You can really just not just stick to two and just go on that walk without anything in your ear, and you can just think and be with your thoughts and things like that, right? So that's what I've been dealing with. Baba, before I let you go, before I let you go, I need you. I need you to be here and witness something with me.
Okay.
So we got this book that came out today,
The strength of the few. Yep.
"The Strength of the Few," which is book 2 of Hierarchy,
I
and
haven't read. I still haven't read book one.
we're not even going to talk about the book. I just want you to witness me flipping over this horrendous book cover to the really saucy one behind it,
Oh
because
yeah. Okay. The real
because
one.
they did the reversibles. So on
Yep.
this
Yep.
side is the actual really good one. So
Yeah,
now,
I was upset because I bought The Will of the Many, the older version in hardcover, and then I saw that and
mhm,
I was like, "Wait, what?" And then they announced that they were doing the reversible covers, and I was like, "All right, I'm back in."
yep. And I need this to stick properly, please. And almost there. We're almost there. Boom. This will work better
There you
later.
go.
But we have the really good Strength of the Few cover.
Here we go. The OG.
The OG that matches. Don't drop anything. Will of the Many, Strength of the Few.
There we go.
I think this is gonna go down as probably one of the best epic fantasies of the modern era. I like that. That's where I'm putting this at. Not to.
I've seen some reviews where people have said that the second book is the best sequel they've ever read. They I mean
I've
most
seen
a lot of
so
people
many people saying that, and I'm like scared.
see I don't trust BookTok though.
I've seen that on BookTube as well, though. Like people who I like kind of trust on BookTube also, because they do like long form like videos. They don't just like do like bites, and they've said the same thing. And I'm like, you're scaring me. What I do appreciate is like if it's gonna be that good, um, we'll see if I work tomorrow, Baba. We'll really see if I clock in my 8 hours tomorrow. We'll see what happens. Cause I work remote, so it's fine. Um, I love
Yeah.
making that joke because it freaks out people who know me in real life. They're like, "Ours, don't say that." I'm like, "Dude, it's fine. I actually get my work done. You're good." I don't know what else with these books. Anyways, um, so that was
No,
the strength of this view.
you're gonna read while you do spreadsheets. I understand.
Oh, 100%. I would have it open while in the past when I used to read a more of like I used to be a really good manga and manhwa reader. And you do a lot of those digitally, and you just scroll on like webtoons or like manga owl or whatever. There would be times when I'm like working and like I get done with the like a 1 2 hour 30-minute task, and I'll just turn my body and read a chapter, the daily chapter of the manhwa that comes out that day, and then I'll go back to work. I've done that before. I'm so bad with multitasking. I'm just really bad with stimming. Essentially, I'm one of those people. Um, a very high achieving stimmer. Um, but yeah, that was the strength of the few. I always ask everybody this when they come on the podcast. new and or returning people. First thing is, where can people find you if they want to follow with what you're doing?
Uh, if you want to follow me on TikTok, it's thebookbaba. Um, if you want to just follow me in life and see how I am as a real person, on Instagram, it's just a brown man.
I like how you don't have your government anywhere. That's awesome. But that's cool. That's cool. I like that. Just about, and the links will be in the description. Um, is there anything that you want to shout out before this last question?
Um, anything I want to shout out? I just want to shout out book talk. You know, it's allowed really cool people such as you and I do consider myself a cool person to connect and have interesting conversations, and I think that's a beautiful thing.
I agree. I agree. I have enjoyed my time this year on Book Talk, having met guys like you, Darius, Laura, Alicia, like those people that I hadn't met 3 years ago when I started. So I appreciate that at least. Um, Now the actual question that I ask everybody when they come on the podcast, an intentionally vague question, but what is one advice that you'd like to give to somebody listening today?
One piece of advice that I would give somebody listening today:
Mhm.
uh, be kind. Yeah, I think uh, being kind in a hard world can go a lot further than we realize. And if you're kind, I think that you know it comes back to you in some way, shape, or form. So kindness is king.
Amazing. Bauer, once again, thank you for joining me today.
Thanks for having me.